What's good, everyone? Today we're discussing the male self-awareness crisis on the internet. I make a lot of videos about strange little dudes making fools of themselves online, friendly fire, and something I've noticed that's a commonality between all of them is an absurd lack of self-awareness and an inability to see themselves through someone else's eyes.
Why do you always push away the nice guys and go for the douchebags?
I blurred out the worst of it, but this dude is rotting. There is necrosis on this guy's forehead, and he's still so entitled to women that he blames them for his loneliness. Like, I hope you get the treatment you need, man, but like, look inside yourself first before blaming women, because they can sure see inside of you. Literally. Sorry, quick, much lower quality disclaimer for my awesome epic editing studio. Don't get me wrong. I think the average dude does have self-awareness. Like, basically all of us can look at this picture and be like, yeah, that is creepy as hell and that is a restraining order speedrun. But that doesn't change the fact that there are genuinely thousands of dudes who would look at that and be like, yup, that's romantic, that's totally gonna get me a girl. And that's really what I want to cover today and why I call this a self-awareness crisis. Because there are so many of these guys. There are so many of them. Like, again, the average dude looks at this and says, yeah, that's really fucking cringe, but that doesn't change the fact that this post has thousands of likes, despite coming off as so fetishizy and objectifying, and it'd be such a turnoff to an actual alt woman. And so today, I just really want to go over this self-awareness crisis and why I think it's worse among men. Because really, there is a general self-awareness crisis. Wow. Someone should make a video about that. But I've noticed that dudes tend to have it the worst. A close second are bookstagram women. Someone should make a video about that. Maybe 2 videos about that. And you know, everyone has some silly moments, me included, but I feel like we can all confidently say that we've never done anything as stupid as this.
Are y'all fucking with the fit or what?
Girl, I'm fucking with you. I don't plan to have kids, but I'm willing to let it just simmer in you. What? That's crazy. I'm so sorry. I'm so drunk. I'm so drunk.
Let it simmer. Just so you guys know, this guy's on the street right now. He recorded that shit and then went to work like nothing happened. Like, you could walk by this guy on the street. Let that simmer, dude. Can you imagine being the girl who filmed that just to check your phone and realize that this guy basically said he wants to impregnate you after watching a completely normal TikTok? I see videos like that, and I really want to know, how does it get that bad? How does one person get so badly socialized to the point that they become that? That's what I want to find out today, because something has to be wrong if dudes like this exist. And like I said, this self-awareness crisis seems to be the most common among men when it comes to women and dating, so that's what we're going to cover first. Starting with what I think is one of the most common forms of online idiocy, and that is parasocial comments under women's videos. Not even just on thirst traps. If you have a womanly voice and you go online, you are going to get people shooting their shot in the comments or acting parasocial, and it is horrendous to watch.
I hate guys who I queue with, play video games with, and the entire time they end up ignoring everything I have to say and focus their time trying to impress me when we're playing games.
I've definitely seen dudes do this in video games, so let's see if the comments have had a similar experience. Every single comment is a man saying stuff like, oh, I wouldn't do this, and you should totally play with me sometime. Like, read the room, man. Oh my god. And like, no shade to her at all, right? But like, there's an avatar. You don't even know what she looks like. And yet these dudes are just throwing away their dignity for a chance to play Overwatch with her. Despite her just making a video about how annoying men are in this game. Again, read the damn room. Or at least read your message back. This sounds like one of those really shitty performative Hinge bios. Like, no shade to dinosaur facts, but you're trying way too hard, man. Relax. So they don't pay attention to what you're saying and don't engage in conversation? Couldn't be me. I'm either yapping to them most of the game or attentively hearing them yap, lol. Dude, what did she just say? Like 5 seconds ago. I'm so sick of men ignoring what I have to say and spending all their time trying to impress me. Okay, but have you considered that I'm pretty impressive because of how little I would try to impress you? We should totally play sometime. Like, do you fucking hear yourself? Yeah, he loves attentively hearing women yap, but he ignored the video that he just watched. While he typed that comment, he had to have that playing in loop in his headphones. He listened to that video multiple times and did not listen once, and just did the thing the video was criticizing. Couldn't be you though, right? And the cherry on top is this comment had 37 likes. He got notified of this comment 37 times, and did not catch the irony and listen to her one single time. But you know what they say, 38th time's a charm. I'll never beg a woman for attention. I only ask him out 57 times, and that's it. But again, you see what I mean about the self-awareness crisis, right? Oh, shit, maybe I need to check my own self-awareness. I just asked a rhetorical question to a camera. If I was playing with you, I would never do this. Smiley face. Like, oh, dude, it's basically just a bunch of men experimenting with different combinations of words to see which one of them can get her to play with them. And it's just like, it's creepy as fuck. Maybe this isn't the video to shoot your shot on. And this lack of self-awareness takes many forms. A lot of dudes will just outwardly get on here and say the most patronizing shit ever, like what you just watched. But other dudes will try to be more clever about it and hide it under another layer of performativity or secrecy. Nah, I hate when other dudes do that too, lol. Okay, Mordecai, what the fuck?
I'm not seeing anyone right now. Guys are jerks.
God, I know, right? Guys are the worst.
This is why I feel like regular shows should be required watching for anybody under the age of 20. Because so many of the out-of-touch comments I see from dudes are people acting exactly like Mordecai because they've never seen someone act that way from, like, the outside, so they don't realize how cringy and obvious it is to women. Well, like, everyone else sees what you're doing here, alright? Because, like, only a hunter lays traps, right? If you're trying so damn hard to be this person's perfect man, that comes off as untrustworthy. People find that creepy. It's like performative men. It's like that whole meme. Oh, wow. Someone should make a video about that. Man, this royal guy's got a pretty great portfolio. That might be subscribe-worthy, perchance. And I think a lot of guys think they're so clever for trying this approach, but they don't realize how easy it is to pick up on. Like, okay, this woman is not a, like, well-known or, like, crazy skilled Overwatch player. No shade, it's just, like, that's not what she's known for. She's just a VTuber. So, like, if they're inviting her to a game, it is obviously out of a parasocial attachment, or, more likely, a romantic attachment, because VTuber fans tend to be crazy attached. Like, they're doing this thing where they try to, like, weasel into her life instead of just shooting their shot, and that comes off, once again, as super creepy and obvious. People can tell. And yet lots of dudes don't have the self-awareness to realize that they know what you're doing. You know, like, it's like, look, go all out or don't do it at all, because in between just comes off as super, like, just predatory. Like, you seem like you have ulterior motives. If she invited any of these guys to a game afterwards, though, that's kind of on her. Like, that's like getting scammed by a bird. Because, yeah, apparently they can do that now. Look at him go! Throughout this video, I want you to imagine the thought processes of these guys and the optimal response they're hoping to get. Like, in an ideal world, what are they hoping happens after they write this? Like, under this post, for example, there were a few dudes writing these bizarre comments where they just, like, lamented their problems under this post of all things. And, like, genuinely, what do they gain from this? That confuses me so much. I'm socially awkward, horrible with conversation, and am subpar at games I even enjoy playing. That's the comment, that's it. Like, dude, in an ideal world, what response are you hoping for from her? What is she supposed to say to this? Damn, dude, your life does suck, LMAO. Like what? What do you gain from this? Maybe he's also looking for attention, though. He's just like, well, you're tired of men impressing you? Well, check out how unimpressive I am. Like, how is that gonna work? Speaking of gaining things, though, a lot of men think that comments like the stuff you just witnessed will gain them attention from the creators they like. And thirst trappers know this, and they will take advantage of this for engagement, and yet these dudes cannot for the life of them see that they're being marketed to, and it is fucking pitiful. For example, here's an AI thirst trapper who panders to older, lonely men, and her comments are full of hundreds of these guys shooting their shot crazy style, despite them having the lowest effort profiles imaginable and putting no effort forward to actually have a dateable persona. There's thousands of these dudes out there. They're all 50 or 60 years old. They take selfies from 30 degrees below the chin with 3DS camera quality in fucking serial killer lighting. And that's like all they have on their profile. No. That's not even true. Sometimes they will literally have their wife tagged in their bios and have pictures with like their family and kids and shit. And yet they're still out here shooting their shot. They have profiles like this, and they are shooting their shot with attractive 20-year-olds, and they fully fucking expect these women to bend over backwards for them. I don't know what the hell they put in IPAs or whatever older dudes drink, but it is obliterating their sense of self. Like, dudes hit 50, and they immediately lose an objective grip on reality, and cannot see how women perceive of them. And I don't even feel bad making fun of these guys, because a lot of times it is with extremely creepy intent. Like, these are all 18 to 21-year-old girls who are marketing towards older men, and oftentimes they will market themselves with childlike qualities to try to appeal to, like, you know, creepy predatory old men.
I'm 19 virgin. No drink, no smoke. All I know just is cook and clean. But do you think a boring girl like me could ever get an older boyfriend? I mean, I'm just single, no experience. That's why I dream of loving someone older. Someone who knows how to guide me.
If you're in that comment section, like, I feel like you failed as a human. Except for this guy who's trying to convert the AI girl to Christianity. I guess his heart's in the right place. And look, I'm not trying to make fun of anyone's looks here, alright? My entire point is I'm making fun of their fucking lack of effort, okay? And all of these pictures were also sourced from, like, 19 or 20-year-old girls' comments. So again, these guys shouldn't be commenting in the first place, but to add on to that, they put no effort at all into coming off as presentable or dateable. Again, it's just that sense of entitlement. It's like this motherfucker really thought he could just take a picture from right here, roll over on his bed, hit up this 10 out of 10 20-year-old, and he thought it was gonna fucking work. I need to just stress that that is some of the stupidest behavior I've ever seen from a human in my entire life. And again, you may think I'm going hard on them, but like I feel like every woman I know who posts on social media has a story about some creepy looking dude who still hits them up, despite not realizing that they look creepy. It's such a common lack of self-awareness. I don't get how it happens. How many things have to go wrong until you're making these fucking comments? And how is this impossibly stupid behavior replicated across thousands of fucking people? This video is so easy to make because there's so many of them. I read my comment section, okay? I know some of y'all would fold, but you probably wouldn't fold if I hit you up looking like this! Nothing in their profile, no wealth shown, no looks shown, no attempt to look flattering and they think it's gonna fucking work. What lobe of my brain do I have to remove? What lobe of my brain do I have to Trotsky-style ice pick in order to become one of these motherfuckers? I don't get it. And to make it worse, here is a dude shooting a shot with an anime girl. These guys don't even lack self-awareness, they lack just general awareness. Like, this is why they removed lead out of gasoline. This is why they took lead out of gas, because it created just 1,000 boomers who all they do is just watch cop shows half asleep, while just hitting up really young girls on Instagram while their wife of 30 years sleeps next to them, wondering how they married such a loser. How are there so many of them? Ugh. It is the most infuriating group I've ever covered on YouTube. I despise these people. Again, I really try not to go like too hard on people, even when I like probably shouldn't, even when it's kind of deserved. But I think these dudes are just like, oh, it is just, I hate it. The creepiness combined with the lack of self-awareness and just the insane entitlement. How do you think this is gonna work, man? You think she doesn't have any better options? Ah! My thesis in this video is that so many dudes have no ability to perceive how they look from an outside source. This motherfucker has his wife in his profile picture, and he still tried shooting a shot because he cannot physically, mentally fathom that this woman, like, in this woman's eyes, she sees him, sees that he has a wife in his profile picture, and is just immediately writing him off because that means he's married, he's disloyal. But this guy can't tell. How do you get married when you're this brain dead? And look, sorry, I keep having to add more to this goddamn video because I keep finding worse and worse examples. Like, yeah, sure, that one was pretty bad. Look at this one. So he's commenting on one of those, like, engagement bait AI girl posts, like, oh, baby, would an older man want to move out with me to Thailand? And it's like some 20-year-old, and I'm just like, ugh. So I already fucking hate this commenter, right? And I decided to check this guy's account because I'm like, okay, what would she see if she decided to, like, take him up on this offer? This motherfucker's whole account is dedicated to bondage. He's a 53-year-old man, and his entire account is just tied up women, and it's like, oh my god, do you not see how creepy that is? And he's still shooting a shot as if he doesn't look like a Jeffrey Dahmer! Like, how can you not imagine how a woman would feel looking at that? If I was a woman, I would delete my account if I got some shit like that. Like, I'm just like, okay, look, I get it. Some of these guys, even though they are creepy, they are lonely, you know? For the safety of women, these guys deserve to be lonely. And maybe you think, Royal, this isn't exactly evidence of a self-awareness crisis. Like, come on, boomers are creepy. Yeah, we know. Fork found in a kitchen, air found in atmosphere. But it is not just confined to older men. A lot of younger dudes also lack the ability to self-reflect and see how they're perceived by women. And a lot of them do the exact same things. And one of the worst examples of this behavior is the increasing sexualization of alternative women. Dudes have increasingly become attracted to the alternative aesthetic. And while there's nothing wrong with that, it's normal to have a preference. A ton of dudes take it way too far to the point of genuine harassment and fetishization. And again, they have absolutely zero self-awareness and can't see how extremely cringy and creepy they come off to these women. And the funny part to me is that being alt takes a lot of effort. That's one of the most like effortful, purposeful aesthetics. And yet the people who fetishize them tend to be the most loser-ass crusty shut-ins ever. Like, if you want to hop on here and say some like, I need me a freaky goth dummy mommy, like, you better be putting that damn effort in, you know, because they sure are. Like, all the alt women I know who have dating apps have had the exact same experience. A bunch of low effort, often conservative dudes will DM them. And they'll DM the most crazy, objectifying freak ever, despite not even putting anywhere close to the amount of effort that they do into their appearance. And just like the old dudes, they fully expect that they're going to be met with open arms despite how insane they look. Raw, Next question. Like, how is that gonna work, dude? This guy didn't even say hi, just got straight to the point about how he wanted to impregnate me and give me a disease. I think I'm in love. Like you are poo-brained if you think that's gonna work. You are terminally poo-brained if you think that line is gonna work. And it's so funny, because dudes will openly admit to fetishizing alt women to alt women's faces, and again, self-awareness. They fully expect their shot to go in, and for these women to just ignore all the red flags. Like, they think they're a catch despite having all the red flags on display. Like this guy right here who has that stupid ass DM me immediately picture on his Hinge profile at the top. Like, he is advertising red flags on his forehead, and he still thinks that alt women are gonna fawn over him. And even worse, in that comment section, some guy said that it was him. I don't know if it's true, but he claimed to be him. You basically see a post with hundreds of comments calling you an idiot, and you're just like, hey guys, that's me. Like, oh my god, I would be hiding for the rest of my life if that was me. And you're just like, yo, I think it's a great look if I admit that was me. You're fucking dumb, bro. Unless this is some, like, 200 IQ maneuver to get degraded by goth women, but, you know, I don't think it is, because I don't think this guy's smart enough for that. I'm sorry I'm going so hard on these guys. It's just like, to me, it's so frustrating because a mustard seed of self-reflection could prevent almost everything you've seen in this video. Like, the bare minimum would prevent everything, and yet it still doesn't happen, and there are thousands of guys like this. And again, I keep clowning on people not being able to see through other people's eyes, so let's practice a little bit. Imagine you are a 10 out of 10 goth baddie, and you basically can pick any guy you want. You're looking for a long-term relationship on a dating app, and you can afford to be a bit picky. You're not shallow, looks aren't everything, but you know, it's obviously a factor here, alright? So, now imagine you're this person and you just get this message. OMG, has anyone ever told you you look like Raven or Jane from Breaking Bad? And are you a dommy mommy? Please step on me and ruin my life. And you may think I'm exaggerating, but I'm not. This is literally the, like, 4 most common messages that alt women get just combined into one. Dudes genuinely think this is gonna work. And so again, I really gotta emphasize the layers of stupidity that goes into creating this sort of thing. For one, comparing an alt woman to Raven or Jane from Breaking Bad are the 2 most basic characters you could think of, and if you even ask that, that suggests that you have no alternative friends and have no care for the culture, because yeah, of course they've heard that. It's literally a stereotype among them that these loser-ass dudes will, like, immediately compare them to that. It's like the most basic thing you can compare. You know, get a little deeper, you know, show you care a little bit. And another thing these guys do is just immediately, like, stereotype these women as, like, dominant or, like, you know, project their kinks onto them because they just assume that they're on some crazy freak shit because of, like, that internet stereotype of goth women being freaky. See this through another pair of eyes. If you are this woman getting this message, this guy is basically screaming that he's going to objectify you, doesn't really see you as a person to date, and instead as that internet stereotype, once again, meaning he has no fucking alternative friends. Or else he would have heard of this stereotype by now. But yet these dudes still do it. They don't have the self-awareness required to introspect, because they spend all of their time and get all of their information from online. And I really need to hammer home the fact that, like, you know, like, women can see that you stereotype them based on, like, internet stereotypes. For example, one of my friends used to have black hair and now they have blonde hair, and they said that they got objectified way more often when they had black hair and were a lot more, like, alternative presenting. Because again, these dudes will, like, just get all of their ideas about goth women from porn and the internet, and then just advertise that view on their fucking forehead, and then they just wonder why they're not getting any play, you know? You people are stupid. It's the same as the old guys. The thing that frustrates me is that it takes 1 second of imagining how you look from the female perspective to realize that this approach isn't going to fucking work. But there are so many guys who don't do it. In a way, I guess it benefits all the normal guys a little bit. Like, the bar's in fucking hell right now, dude. Like, the bar is in literal hell right now. It's just, I do feel bad, though, because a lot of dudes are still limbo players. A lot of dudes are still trying to get under that bar. So yeah, let's look at some more of that. So this guy thought it'd be a great idea to shoot his shot with this woman by sending her an AI-generated picture of them together. You seriously thought that was gonna work? This might be the worst one yet. Even worse than the Necrosis guy. Because, like, dude, you just showed a woman that you have software that can generate her likeness doing whatever you want. That is fucking terrifying. That is genuinely scary. And you thought this was romantic. You thought that shot was going in. You thought this was cute. Like, oh my god, the bar is so low, dude! He thought this was gonna get him a date. The only date he's getting is a court date. And again, it's like some dudes just cannot empathize with the female worldview at all. Again, we all fall short sometimes just because we all have our own subjective experience of the world. But sometimes it's just so bad that I can't even believe it. Like this guy. Dude, how do you get to your grown age without realizing that maybe faking a kidnapping is utterly terrifying for a woman? Apparently she said yes, but let's be real. That marriage is not lasting, and I feel like that yes was said under duress. You just proved that you are fucking dangerous. You just proved that you are a threat. You are capable of organizing a moving vehicle on the road kidnapping. and you also just proved that you're not going to be able to fight back in a scenario like that. You just completely nuked all of your qualities in like 10 seconds. And he thought it was romantic. He thought this was cute. And like, how did he find so many friends willing to do this with him? You know, again, it's a whole crisis. How did he find like 4 other people who thought this was a good idea? Also, was the broken window improv, or was that part of the plan? I really want to know that. Like, did this guy just get too into his role here, or was that like part of the plan to make him more real? Naturally, most of this video has been covering failed romantic pursuits, because I think that's where the most common forms of self-awareness lack are. But I think it's a lot deeper than that, and that chronically online people within echo chambers are another example of the self-awareness crisis. This one is less confined to dudes specifically, but again, it's still pretty common among them. When you spend a lot of time online, you don't get that sort of like social influence to make you normal, if that makes sense. Like, there's also a lot of really, really bad social influence, but at the same time, there is like a sort of like, yeah, you need to just know general manners, you need to just generally have world knowledge, and if you don't spend time offline and in the real world, you don't get socialized in a way to properly navigate it. And we can see that in a lot of, like, unself-aware, chronically online people. And, like, one of my favorite examples of this is people who clearly spend just, like, an absurd amount of time in fandom spaces, but just, like, just never in real life. Just never in real life. Like, this person right here is asking whether Kendrick is a new Genshin character. Have you left the house? Like, again, like, I understand not knowing a musician, right? Like, I'm Patrick Maxing, okay? I live under a fucking rock. It's just, like, to not know Kendrick, of all people, despite spending so much time online, again, it's just like, you know this person is just in some crazy, like, just tight-knit Genshin echo chamber and never leaves it. And another example, and I think this is, like, one of my favorite posts on the internet ever. Alright, so it's Matt Pat, right? Crying all over again reading your messages. Please don't leave us N-word. And it's capitalized. That's so funny to me. He definitely will now. What the hell do you mean by this? This bro called Matt Pat the freaking N-word. Go outside and talk to people not in your fandom space. You know? And okay, obviously those are pretty, like, low-stakes examples, but here's one that actually really pisses me off.
Okay, hot take. The Gen Z revolution isn't gonna look like a war. It's gonna look like a giant party. I've been thinking a lot about what a successful solar punk revolution is gonna look like, and to be totally honest, I don't think it's really gonna look anything like the old revolutions. It might look more like Gen Z just fully owning and becoming the ball generation.
And like, dude, this is what happens when you let your entire life be dictated by social media algorithms and just generally get socialized by fucking YouTube. Like, the extent of this person's political praxis is just to, like, watch YouTube videos on solar punk and then think to themselves, like, go outside. Oh my god. Like, again, like, the internet's great for education in that regard, but like, this is what happens when you don't put that education into any sort of, like, practice or just fucking talking to people. Oh my god, like, here's an issue right now. Lebanon's getting bombed. This person sees that and they genuinely think that we're just gonna, like, party our way out of this. Fuck you, man. Get real. Again, they had such little self-awareness that they themselves posted that. Again, this is what happens when you live in a fucking bubble. But on a slightly less serious note, like, you would expect this sort of, like, social self-awareness to manifest mainly in the real world with, like, people who are chronically online. But it's really funny to me because, like, a lot of chronically online people are also, like, they lack internet self-awareness. And that's always so funny to me because, like, how does that happen? You spend all your time online and you still end up, like, not fitting in with an internet culture? Like, this guy I covered, for example, in, like, one of my other thirst trap videos, it's like, this dude, just, like, you could tell that his entire, like, being has been shaped by Discord, and, like, but he doesn't listen to anybody, like, calling him out for it, and just has been making these absurd videos for years. It's just, like, bubble. It's a bubble within a bubble. It's like an internet bubble. And it's also really funny to me when people are, like, extremely behind on memes, too. Like, this guy posting dank memes slop in, like, 2026.
Just because school isn't meant for you doesn't mean rap is. I know what this meme says, but I'm gonna choose to ignore it because I can't read.
Like, dude, it's not even the good stuff. This wasn't funny 10 years ago. This was like the karma farming shit that ruined Reddit. And he's still trying to blow up off of that in 2026. It's the same stuff with JoJo fans. It's like, look, JoJo is by far my favorite manga ever. It's just, it also has like one of the least funny, like, oh, okay. The only good joke to come out of JoJo fans in the past, like, decade has been the SBR memes. Like, that's actually been kind of funny. Other than that, it's been just, like, poverty. And total side tangent, it's so funny to me how some fandoms are just so much funnier than others. And I really want to know why that is. Maybe I'll make a video of this at some point. It's like, the JoJo and anime fandoms tend to just be slop. I see some amazing memes every once in a while from them, but like, it's slop. But you know what's consistently a banger? The competitive singles Pokemon community. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's like the higher amount of effort required to kind of get into that fandom that like leads like better meme creators to get into it. Dude, there's just some magic sauce in every single competitive singles meme. It just kills me. They're so high effort, or they're just funny, man. Like, they just have like cream of the crop. Anyway, speaking of things that are not cream of the crop, here's a few more Chronically Online groups that I think you need to see. One of the ones that pisses me off are incels and right-wingers who, like, they all have this weird superiority complex and talk down to people outside of their spheres, despite everyone else seeing them as these pitiful, irony-drenched shut-ins. Like, they are seen as losers by everyone else, and yet they still have a superiority complex. It's like, again, they just cannot see how they look to other people. They think they're part of this cool little club, but, like, it's just nauseatingly cringe to everybody else. Another example are thirst trappers who have zero idea how to actually thirst trap and don't really realize that they've crafted their entire online personas based off of like algorithmic stereotype instead of anything actually genuine. Like all those like biker guys who they're always like walking around with like talking about how much they love Monster or like Batman and shit, and it's just like, dude, you guys were created by the algorithm. You know, like they don't see that everyone else sees that this is basically a consumer identity. And another example that I'm probably going to do a video on is people who copy the burnt peanuts grift, thinking that they'll immediately blow up as streamers despite not actually really making any entertaining clips. It's like they just copy his formula without realizing that like people actually have to find you entertaining. Arguably, I mean, I don't know who watches a burnt peanut, but like he's more likely to get viewers than someone who just posts mid Rocket League clips as a mattress. And I can go on and on, but I really think you get the point by now. So let's talk about why I think this happens and why it's worse among men. There are a few reasons, but I think the biggest reason is online echo chambers. Generally, when someone lacks self-awareness or they do something cringy, it's because that sort of behavior is acceptable in one sphere, but not the other sphere. And the thing about the internet is that you can like immerse yourself in echo chambers all day, every day if you want to. And when you do that, that tends to change how you perceive yourself because now your self-perception is modified by how this community perceives you. And this could be a good thing. Say you're gay and you live in a really conservative area, you can escape that sort of hate by going online and having a separate social circle. But the thing is, this sort of online socialization can often be a bad thing and encourage bad behaviors, or at least things that we see as cringe, especially when you get women involved, which is where I think the self-awareness crisis among men is at its worst. Because again, virtually every woman I know, especially alt women, has had so many run-ins with creepy, unself-aware guys who they think they're a catch, but the way they hit on women is so fucking creepy and they don't see it. And like, I really just think there isn't enough positive societal pressure for dudes to like, you know, be mature and not creepy. And I talked about this a bit in the Dr. Witnesser video, but I feel like if you don't get any sort of like social correcting pressure, you kind of grow up to be an immature man-child. And especially in like super patriarchal, like homogenous environments, that can really stunt a person. Like for example, if a young boy is acting out of line and the authority figure who should punish them just says some like, oh, boys will be boys, that dude is now like free of consequences and never learns to just be fucking normal. And society in general kind of acts that way a lot towards dudes. A lot of the times their behavior gets excused and even brushed off onto women sometimes. Like, oh, yeah, this guy may have sent you an AI generated photo of you as a couple, but you know, maybe you shouldn't have posted so many scantily clad photos if you didn't want to invite that sort of attention. The dudes get excused, it gets brushed off towards women, and then the dudes never fucking learn. And then that's how you get a bunch of genuine man children who objectify goth women, and then 40 years later, they're hitting on 20-year-olds, you know, despite putting zero effort into their appearance and thinking that they're a catch. And so just in general, I think that this lack of like social discipline is really leading dudes to just like grow up to be super immature and have no ability to conceive themselves from someone else's eyes, because they've never truly been corrected. And again, I think it's getting better. Like, I think the average Gen Z man compared to a boomer is night and day, alright? Like, this rhetoric has definitely gotten less pronounced, but it's still there, clearly, because you get all these chuds who think they're entitled to women. And don't get me wrong, social pressure is not always a good thing. Like, again, to be cringe is to be free. I'm a huge proponent in that, but like, it really comes down to the societal rules you're enforcing, right? And in general, I just think we need to be more, like, hard on creepy men, you know? And I think the last thing that really matters is that a lot of dudes, like, they don't have platonic female friends, and I feel like that would solve so many of the issues, because so many of the examples I used in this video were stuff that I've heard from my friends, and if I didn't have them, I wouldn't have as much of a sense about, like, the female experience, you know? I'm not saying I'm the woman whisperer or anything, but, like, again, like, all it takes is just, like, a female friend to describe her experience to you to fix so much of this lack of self-awareness. And I feel like it's not a coincidence that all the dudes I know who say that, like, they don't think they could be platonic friends with a woman tend to be the most poorly socialized. But yeah, anyways, that's all I got. You know, subscribe, make sure to walk a mile in someone's shoes today and later.